What's up, guys? Welcome back to Gamers Grotto. Today we're going to be building a mob spawner. Now, this is one of those big builds that I told you I was going to build after I got my shulker boxes, because now I can just hold a bunch of stuff. Alright, so you want to build 128 blocks up into the sky over an ocean biome, away from everything. So I got my 2 stacks of 64. We built this up. Oh, I forgot my shulker box. Let's take that too. We'll need it. Boop. Alright. So then my scaffolding is my scaffolding is I don't need my stone to build the thing yet. So my scaffolding, I took 2 stacks of 64 to build it up into the sky. So that gives me my 128. Now, mob spawning. Mobs will not spawn after 128 blocks. They just instantly disappear. So if you're 128 blocks from the surface of the ocean, nothing will spawn below the ocean because you're too high up. So things will only spawn in the machine. So that's why we're building it over the ocean, in the sky. So we'll go up to our 128, and then we'll build a platform, and then we'll build a machine above that platform. Alright, so there we go. So this is the height that we're going to be building our platform on. So I'm a little quiet right now. I'm trying to record the audio while my son is sleeping in the next room. But bear with me. It's a good episode. It's a lengthy one, but it's good. So the platform doesn't need to be anything special. I like keeping the scaffolding there after I'm done building it. Just if you want to go there the long way. But typically I build a nether portal somewhere on this platform, so I can just get to it without having to go through the scaffolding, and then I tear down the scaffolding afterwards. So then we'll finish building our platform here. Try and build further away from land masses as possible, like at least 128 blocks. I choose the ocean biomes because if you're 128 blocks from the surface, then you're guaranteed nothing will spawn in the ocean, right? You could build it over land now that the build ceiling has been lifted. This is just how I do it. So we'll build our collection system here with our 9 hoppers. I think we need more than 9 hoppers. 9 hoppers for the platform that the mobs will fall on, but typically we need more than that. Alright, so then what am I looking for here? Oh yeah, more hoppers. And chests. Okay, so our collection system is essentially just going to be 6 chests stacked on top of each other. There we go. And there's another one, and then 3 hoppers in the back, like so. Now what's cool about this configuration is that typically the hoppers will just keep pulling all the items down into the bottom chest until everything's full. And then it'll start feeding into the next chest. I liked this design rather than the typical hopper systems, because it's, I don't know, I find it's cleaner looking, Alright, so let's build our scaffolding up into the sky. There we go. So that's our collection system right here. We're going to build a 3x3. So 3 hoppers leading into each other into the collection system, and then 3 hoppers leading into those on each side. So it'll be a 9x9, 3x3 square. 9 blocks, 9 hoppers total. There we go. And then we'll need, I don't know why I built this. Then we'll need our building blocks. Here, see? It's ample room for everything that we're going to be using. Now, I typically build this end game because I need gunpowder for rockets so that I can go and explore more, building TNT to decimate. Now, in the center hopper, place your scaffolding up. We're going to be going up quite a bit. I don't know exactly the height, but if you just follow along with how I'm building this, then you'll figure it out. But the machine isn't all that big. But in building it in survival mode like I did, I mean, I could have built it in creative and just showed you it in survival, but here I am doing it in survival. Every one of these blocks has been the result of either me mining or my cobblestone generator. Alright, so around the hoppers, build a box. Now, you can fill in the front of the box because you don't need to see what's falling in the machine, but I like having a viewing window, so that's why I left it open on that side. You will need to fill in the corners. I had made a mistake when I originally started building this. I fix it here before I go up to how much higher. But you can build so that 10th hopper that's just sitting out in nowhere. You can build a face on that. Here I realize, I'm realizing now that I need to fix this. You'll see why when I get to the top of this collection tube. Later in the video, I end up finishing off the build, finishing off that front face with some glass and whatnot. It looks real sharp. I really like the smooth stone look of this machine. There we go. So just essentially build a tube around it. The reason why I'm going with a 3x3 collection and not a 2x2 is because the machine, the design of the collection basin, for whatever reason, it's difficult to build it around a 2x2 channel, like a 2x2 hole into the hoppers, whereas if I build it into a 3x3, everything lines up better. Like the flushing system for the floors line up with the collection basin, and then you don't have one side of the machine that has a 4-block gap and the other side only has a 3-block gap. There's less problems whenever you go to put the collection basin with the water. I guess ultimately I could have edited all this out, but I chose not to, so bear with me. Here I'm just doing some quick math on like how high I need to build this. My original thought was 28, so I go up 28 blocks, but it's not true. It's 30. You need to go 30 blocks tall. You can do it 29, so you can single heart witches, but I'm not using this machine as an XP generator. I'm using this machine strictly for mob drops. My XP farm is actually going to be in the end when when I build my, oh my goodness, what is the name of it? Enderman farm. So the Enderman farm that I have right now is just like a roof that's 3 blocks tall to prevent them from hitting me. But I plan on building an actual Enderman farm over the void, just floating over nothing, so that the Enderman can only spawn in on a specific platform that I build, and then I'm gonna have an Endermite that's attracting them into a drop system similar to this build, and then have them fall to 1 heart health, just so that I can, or maybe not even. Basically, I want to one-shot them with my sword so that I get the Ender Pearl drops. Alright, so we just go and keep building up until we get to the 30 blocks. Again, sorry for my monotone, relatively quiet voice. I'm trying not to be too loud for my son. Yeah, this platform is in the wrong spot. So this is at 28. I think I go up 2 more levels. And then destroy all this. Yeah, let's do 28. This is 28, so let's do 30. So let's do another 2 rows. So I think it's like 29.5 blocks tall, and the fall damage will kill a witch. Older variations of this machine, I was building it at 28, but then would put campfires at the base of the machine so that anything that survived the fall damage would just cook from 9 campfires over the hoppers. What's nice about the campfires too is that it doesn't burn. The campfires won't burn drops, but the hoppers can still collect them through the campfires. So there, that's our 30. So now we're going to build our platform. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so this is basically the floor of the catch basin. Yeah, which will then. So there's 4 floors that'll be above this catch basin. That then each floor will be flooded. Each floor will flood, and then pushing the mobs into this catch basin, and then from this catch basin dropping into the drop tube to the hoppers. I'm taking my sweet time here, but essentially what you want to do around that 9 block hole, the 3x3 hole, is build out was it 8 blocks? 8 blocks from the center, right? Because water flows for 8 blocks. And then build it the width of the hole. So the surrounding blocks, how it's 5 by 5. So go to the center block of the hole, build out 8. You'll see later in the video what I'm trying to explain. It's kind of late and I haven't been making videos often enough. Yeah, so then 8 from the center. Yeah, so here, 1, 2, 3. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you're going to want to step up at the 9th block. So 8, and then put a block at the end, stepping up at the 9. But do this 5 blocks wide, not just 3. You'll see the design when I'm done in a minute. I keep looking back to check my math. So this will be the step down, and the water will flow the 8 blocks right to the edge of the machine, yeah, just like that. But instead of doing it 3 wide, do it 5. Here we go. Bingo bango. Six, 7. Oh, I think I built it 1, 2. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, 8. So here, this is what I'm talking about. So 8 blocks, step up, and then build 3 blocks and a step up. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Step up. 1, 2. Step up. And then build it 5 wide, like this on each end. So you can see that side there is done. So let's just finish this. 2, 3. Step up. There. Now the other side, so that's 4 wide. Oop. Step up 1. There. So build that on all 4 sides. Where's the middle? Yeah, it needs to be here. Bingo bango. So then once you have all 4 sides done, like so, we're going to connect each side to another side, basically making a giant bowl. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we fill in all the space in between. Just like so. So then just keep following the same pattern that I'm doing here. Basically, you want to be building it at a straight edge on an angle. A straight edge on an angle, that makes sense. Just like so. Right? From corner to corner. The corner of this is first step up to the other corner. And then we're going to do that for the step up also. Like that. Here. Now just keep following this pattern. And then fill in all 4 sides like this, exactly like this. And it'll look something like this. So we filled in all our 4 sides. So now we're just going to fill in the center so that our water doesn't keep pushing us down into the hole. I've had that from previous builds. You're constantly fighting the water instead of just having a safe area to have a platform to work on. Alright, so then create your infinite water source, because now we're going to lay in our water for our catch basin. Catch basin. No, that's not how we do it. There we go. Now, infinite water source. A bucket. Bucket. So then here, we're going to put water on the step up against the farthest wall. In every block on that side. And then we're just going to do the entire outside, the entirety of the bowl around that outer wall. See? Just like so. So it'll look something like this. There we go. Our catch basin is complete. So this is, now we're going to build the outside walls. And just continue building this all the way around. It'll look something like that. You can do this afterwards, but I chose to do it now. Now your floors. So you're going to want to build it 7 blocks tall from the floor, the very lowest point, that point right there. 7 blocks from that point up. Use your scaffolding. I love scaffolding. So then each floor is just going to go 7 blocks out from the scaffolding, because the water source is going to be where the scaffolding is once we later remove that to put in the dispensers and the observers. So then I'm just going to show you the full design of the floor, and then you just duplicate that 4 times. So we go 7 blocks out from the center. 8th block would be the center. I think I went too many on this one. And then we just fill it in. From corner to corner, very much like there we go. So then we just fill in all of this stuff here. So this is the spawning platforms for the mobs, and we're going to flood these floors with waters to push them out into the collection basin below. Now, the reason why I prefer building my mob spawners like this, and rather than the giant rectangle with the, how do you say, the giant rectangle. What's going on here? This doesn't make sense. 7. Oh, that side's 8. Oh, my bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that side's 8. I need to get rid of an entire face. Yeah. There we go. Get rid of these. This is too many. There's 7. So then the mobs will drop into that collection basin there, off of these floors. And then into the bottom, into the hoppers. Alright, so I'm just going to show you the whole floor design. Now, I use the arrows for, obviously, ammunitions and traps and stuff like that. Then I use the bones for bone meal in some micro farms that require bone meal to rapidly grow. There we go. So that's the floor. So then we build the second floor, 2 blocks, 3 blocks above it. So just enough for mobs to spawn in, but not endermen. There we go. So now we've got our 4 floors repeated. See, 4 floors, 1, 2, 3, 4. and the gap between each floor is 2 blocks. So just enough for you to walk in between each floor. Now make sure to torch each floor to prevent mobs from spawning in while you're building the machine. Basically create the same pattern you did again, but this is going to be the roof of the machine. Go all the way out. Doesn't really matter if you finish it, you'll see why in a minute. But I do recommend that you build it now, because whenever you get to building the walls, you're not going to be able to make the jump. You're not going to be able to get off of the wall without building the roof. And if the roof is already kind of there to help you keep building, then what am I doing here? Alright, I forgot something. See, so 2, there we go, on top of the world, blop. So this won't need to be any higher than that. So this is essentially the top of the machine. This is the roof of the machine before we're... Okay. Need to build the walls up now. There we go. Let's just build scaffolding up. So then build this outer wall all the way up to the roof that we just made. Let me just fast forward this. Cut ahead. There, you just build it all the way up to the roof. And then connect the roof to it. Like so. Let's finish off this wall. I know this video is kind of dry, but I've been working crazy hours lately, and I just haven't had time to put as much effort into it as possible. I really hope that my YouTube channel takes off and I can just do this full time. Potentially make some money off of it, creating content. And not just Minecraft, but oh look, it's already starting. You got some drowned in there in the bottom. But like grinding these 12, 13-hour days to make ends meet is it's hard. It's not exactly the lifestyle I want. But hopefully in the future, if I can get more time, I can start recording some other gameplay, not just Minecraft. Minecraft is just my guilty pleasure. I love this game. So then we're going to have a chamber that basically looks like this. So now we're going to fill it in. Fill in all of the roof. Just like so. So there we go. This is the top of the machine. Alright, so now we need to build our flushing system. Where's my... There we go. Let's get our buckets of water. This is what we're going to use to flush each floor. Now, this system is going to be on a redstone clock. Now, I've seen lots of other guys use like a ton of repeaters. On of the 4-tick delay, and that works. But you know what? That's It's just ridiculous when you can build something as simple as what I'm about to build. So you'll need 4 dispensers, 4 observers. You'll need 2 hoppers. You'll need a couple pieces of redstone, 2 comparators, 2 repeaters, and then that's literally all the redstone in the machine. So whatever direction the observers you're facing, that's whatever face is going to be seen. So now we're going to put in the channels to flush. So here, see how it looks up? Perfect. So then we drop down, and this is why I build the scaffolding right in the middle. This is why, is to fill in all of these dispensers and observers. Now we put a dispenser, put a bucket of water in, and then a half slab. Now if you're playing on Bedrock Edition, you need to put the half slab, because what happens is the observer will detect a block update every time the water flows. So whenever the water stops, like whenever the dispenser sucks up, like retracts the water, the observer is going to detect that, and then when the water finally dissipates, the observer is going to detect that also. So by putting a half slab, whenever the water gets retracted, it doesn't detect that, and it'll only detect whenever the water stops flowing. So it'll only detect once rather than twice. And the reason we want it to only detect once is because if it detects twice, it's going to turn the machine off and on again instead of just off. So it'll always be on. The floors are always going to be flooded with water or not flooded with water. But then, because of each layer doing it twice, it's going to turn, the first layer is going to turn it on and off again, and then the second layer is going to do that 4 times, and then the next layer is going to do that 8 times, and then the next layer is going to do that, and then the machine just doesn't work properly. So put a half slab underneath the dispenser. So there, that's our dispensers and our half slabs. Oh, having struggles here. So now we need to get back up to the ceiling of the machine so that I can build a redstone clock to flush, to turn on each one of these dispensers. I think, yeah, I think it's nighttime. And try to do some parkour there. Oh, yeah, well, that's... Alright, let's just do this. So then, this machine is quite efficient. Oh yeah, don't forget to fill that in, because otherwise it'll just shoot down the chute. Perfect. So that's basically every floor repeated. It looks like that. There we go. I mean, I can just... Yeah, let's just build it here. What? Oh, the, there we go. So we go back to the ceiling, or the roof. Now we're going to build our redstone clock. See how all the observers will interact with each other every time there's a block update. Get our hoppers. We'll need our repeaters and our comparators and a couple of redstone dust. We don't need 18. We also need a couple pistons. We only need 2. It doesn't need to be a sticky piston, but I find that the sticky pistons work better. I have some slime, so I'll just make some sticky pistons. If you don't have the slime, you don't need it, because each piston is pushing the redstone block. This is the wrong spot. Don't put the pistons here. I correct the problem in a second. Here I'm processing. I'm trying to remember one of my older builds. But I will need a redstone block. So the redstone block is essential for the clock, not so much the activation of the observer. Oh, I wish I could be I wish I could be less monotone in this video. I just have to keep my voice down. Like I said, my son is sleeping in the next room. But I don't have any time to do this video other than right now. There, so the pistons don't go here. That's where you want the redstone. So then piston here and piston there. One space in between, because one side is always going to be extended. Now, temporary block right here. Hopper into it. Oh, that was a big yawn. It's kind of late. And then I'll hopper into that one. Bam! So this is essentially going to be your timer. Now, I throw in a stack of logs and then 61 blocks of another block, but comparator, this will detect the blocks inside of the hoppers. Originally I put 12, and then the redstone block is preventing the items from flowing out of this hopper. No, that's not right. Repeater, mercenary, repeater. Yeah, so you take the repeater, place it right after the comparator, then 1, 2, 3, bam. So it pushes the redstone. Repeater. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's your timer. So every time the timer goes, there we go. But this is too soon. This is too quick. My recommendation is 32 blocks. Put 32 blocks into one of the hoppers. I fix it later. I edit it out of the video, but I do fix it later. I don't just leave the 61 in there. So here, once the blocks from one hopper goes into the other hopper, you'll get a detection, and then it'll move the piston, and then it just keeps repeating that cycle. So here, once we get an activation from our redstone, this floor will flood any second now. Actually, they'll all flood. There we go. See, all the floors flood. So essentially this is what we'd be pushing out our mob. So we want every floor to be on a different rotation. So we want 2 floors to be flooded while the other 2 floors are not flooded. That way there's always a spawning platform and there's always 2 floors that are flushing. So the easiest way I found to do this is take the water bucket out of the 3 floors below the uppermost floor. When the timer triggers, put a bucket so the floor above it would have just been flooded. So the second floor is not, but now there's a bucket in there so that whenever the top floor now retracts the water, the second floor will flood. Oh. I forgot to take the water bucket out of that floor. There we go, see? Oh, the top floor is not, but these two are. I mean, I could have just put in a bucket in that bottom floor and called it a day, but I like having... There, see? So now I'll take the bucket of water out of this one. So now whenever the floor above it floods, scaffolding. There. So the floor above it's going to flood. Put a bucket in there. So whenever the floor above that one stops flooding, yeah, we shouldn't put that in there. Take that out. Let's wait for the floor above it to flood. See? That one flooded. That one's clear. That one flooded. Now this one's clear. Perfect. So now we put our bucket in. Perfect. Break our bed. Now when the floors flood, they'll remove those torches that you put in there to prevent the spawning, so you won't have to go back and clean that out. It'll just take care of it automatically. You can build, you can also put a switch. So take 2 blocks. I just used smooth stone. Place it on the back sides of the hopper, and then put a lever. And a piece of redstone, just to, if you wanted to turn off the machine. I don't know if I did that. Where's my... Oh, I have more smooth stone in those gray boxes. There we go. I just busted a hole in the ceiling of my... There we go. Fix that. Okay, so that's it for the timer. Yeah, let's start putting some of this stuff that I don't need anymore. Alright. It's not quite nighttime then. Let's fill in our hole in the ceiling. There. Now mobs will start spawning on those floors. So let's, before mobs start spawning, because creepers suck, let's start taking apart, fill in our water source. We don't need that anymore. Start cleaning out the barricade to prevent the water from pushing mobs into the center. There we go. Now down the chute we go. Cut this. Place that there for right now. That's the light out. And there we go. That's it. The mob spawner is built. I finish off the face here. I finish off all the top in, man, it's already starting to work. And if you put 32 blocks in those hoppers for the timer, the floors will flush faster, creating higher productivity or higher efficiency. Because it only takes, I think it's 8 seconds of spawnable space to determine whether or not a mob will spawn. Or every tick, the game will check if there's a spawnable space. Don't forget to light up the top of the machine. Mobs like to spawn up there if you don't. Or you can alternately just place down half slabs. I find 2 to 4 torches work best, but I mean, it's your machine, you build it the way you want. So here, I also, let's get rid of some of this stuff in my inventory. That goes there. There we go. See, it's already working. Now let's just make this nice. So then I put a little viewing window here. How far do I want to build this? There we go. So then I also filled in all above all the glass. Just like that. And there you go. That's the mob spawner. Alright, Mercenary One here, signing off. Gamers Grotto. Until next time, guys. Have a good one.